Aaron Vale once lived in a sky tower that touched the clouds. He was only 28 years old and already one of the richest men on planet Sierra. His company, Valetech, had built the most powerful AI systems in the solar system. People called him a genius, a young star, a man with a golden future. He walked on marble floors, rode in flying cars, and spoke at conferences across the moons. But today, Aaron sat on a cold bench in Old City. His suit was dusty. His shoes were torn. And for the first time in his life, he didn't know what to do next. Just 6 weeks ago, his world had crashed. It started with a small glitch in a space traffic system created by Valetech. The AI misread a signal and caused 2 cargo shuttles to crash near Jupiter's orbit. No one died, but the damage was huge. Media channels exploded with blame. People began to say Aaron was careless. Some said he had rushed the project just to impress new investors. Within days, stocks dropped. Contracts were canceled. Investors pulled their money. One after another, his partners left him. "It's business," they said. "We're sorry." Aaron, even his bank accounts were frozen due to a legal review. His name became a target. Soon, his home was taken, his company was shut down, and his face vanished from the giant billboards of Sierra's skyline. He had money once. He had friends. He had plans. Now he had nothing. Aaron looked around Old City. This place was the forgotten part of Sierra. Dirty streets, broken lights, and buildings that leaned like tired men. He had passed this area many times in his flying car, never stopping, never even looking. Now he walked these streets with empty pockets, hungry and cold. He hadn't eaten since yesterday. He had searched for food in bins, but everything smelled bad. His pride was already broken, yet he couldn't bring himself to ask strangers for help. As the sun began to set, the air grew colder. Aaron sat back on the bench and pulled his coat tight around him. His eyes felt heavy. His thoughts were loud. How did I fall so far? Where is everyone now? Did they ever care? Just then, a soft voice spoke near him. "You look hungry." Aaron looked up. An old man stood in front of him. He wore a brown coat with many patches. His face was thin, and his hair was white like snow. In his hand, he held a piece of dry bread wrapped in paper. Aaron didn't reply. He just stared. The old man smiled and sat beside him. "Take this," he said, offering the bread. Aaron shook his head. "You need it more than I do." "I already had some," the man said. "This is extra. Go ahead." Aaron slowly took the bread. It was hard and dry, but to him, it felt like a feast. He ate it quietly, piece by piece. The old man watched him. Still smiling. "Name's Toma," he said. "You're not from around here, are you?" Aaron wiped his mouth and nodded. "I used to be. From up there." He pointed at the sky, where the towers of New Sierra stood, glowing in the clouds. "Ah," Toma said, "one of the sky people." Aaron smiled bitterly. "Used to be." Toma leaned back. "You know, I once lived up there too. Had an office. Employees, meetings, you name it. Then one day I left." "Left?" Aaron asked, surprised. Why would anyone leave that life? Toma looked up at the sky. "Because sometimes when your plate is too full, your heart becomes empty." Aaron paused. The words felt strange. Simple yet deep. "I thought success meant flying high," Aaron said. "I thought I had it all. Now I don't even have shoes that fit." Toma chuckled. "That's because real shoes are made for walking, not flying." They both laughed. It was the first time Aaron had laughed in weeks. For a moment, he didn't feel broken. He didn't feel lost. He just felt human. The night grew colder, and Toma pulled out a thin blanket. He wrapped it around both of them. "Stay close," Toma said. "It helps." Aaron was silent. He looked around, people sleeping on sidewalks, some building small fires, others just sitting with tired eyes. This world was hard, yes, but it also felt real. People here shared what little they had, not like the towers, where people smiled with their lips but held knives in their hearts. I lost everything, Aaron said quietly. No, Toma replied. You just lost what you thought was everything. What do you mean? You still have your mind, your hands, your heart. These are the real tools. You just forgot how to use them. Aaron didn't answer. He just thought. And for the first time, instead of thinking about money or fame, he thought about people, about meaning, about how he got here. Toma closed his eyes and leaned back. Tomorrow's a new day, he said. Let's see where it takes us. As Aaron lay back under the stars, bread in his belly and a blanket over his shoulders, he felt something strange, something he hadn't felt in a long time. Peace, not from having much, but from feeling seen, from receiving kindness without a price, from listening to a man who had nothing but wisdom to give. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but tonight he wasn't alone, and maybe, just maybe, that was a start. The sun rose slowly over Old City, casting a golden light over the crumbling walls and rusted rooftops. Birds flew above broken towers, and quiet sounds of waking people filled the air. It was a new day, but for Aaron, everything still felt strange. He opened his eyes and sat up on the bench. His neck was sore. His back ached, but more than that, his heart felt heavy. He was not dreaming. He was still here in a forgotten place, far from his old world of glass towers and sky cars. Beside him, Toma was already awake. The old man was folding the thin blanket they had shared. He moved slowly but calmly, as if he had done this 1,000 times before. Morning, Toma said with a smile. Aaron nodded. Morning. Toma reached into a small cloth bag. I have something for you, he said. From the bag, he pulled out 2 boiled eggs and half a banana. Aaron blinked. Where did you get that? Friend gave it, Toma replied. There's a woman down the street who runs a food cart. Sometimes she gives me extras at night. Aaron looked at the food. His stomach growled. He wanted to refuse, he didn't want to take food from someone who had so little. But Toma placed the banana in his hand anyway. Eat, he said gently. Energy helps the mind think. They sat quietly, sharing breakfast in silence. The simple meal tasted better than anything Aaron had eaten in weeks. After they finished, Toma stood up and stretched. Let's walk, he said. Aaron followed him down the narrow street. Broken lights flickered above, and the air smelled of dust and smoke. But as they walked, Aaron saw people beginning their day. A boy swept the front of a small tea shop. A woman sold second-hand shoes on a mat. A group of men laughed as they repaired a broken solar lamp. There was life here. Struggle, yes, but also spirit. People here, Toma said, waving his hand around. They don't have much, but they share. They talk, they help. That's how we survive, Aaron nodded. It's not like that where I come from. No, Toma said. Up there, people hide behind numbers. Down here we show faces. They reached a corner where an old metal bench sat beside a small plant growing out of a crack in the wall. Toma sat down and patted the space beside him. Aaron sat too. You know, Toma began, when I saw you yesterday, I knew you weren't from here. Aaron smiled a little. Was it my dirty suit or my confused face? Toma chuckled. Both. But mostly your eyes. You looked like a man who had just lost the world. I did, Aaron replied softly. He told Toma more about his fall, about Vailtech, the eye mistake, the angry media, and how fast everything disappeared. Toma listened, quietly, never interrupting. When Aaron finished, he expected advice or maybe judgment. Instead, Toma just said, I understand, you do? Aaron asked. Toma looked at the sky, where the towers of New Sira stood in the far distance like shining ghosts. I once built machines too, Toma said. Long ago. I was a systems thinker, worked with neural patterns. I believed machines could help us become better humans. What happened? Aaron asked, surprised. Toma sighed. People wanted speed, control, profit. They forgot about values. I walked away when I realized my work was helping machines think, but not helping humans feel. Aaron was silent for a moment. He had never heard someone talk like that before. I think, Aaron said slowly, I was trying to make people notice me. Maybe that's why I built my company so fast. I wanted to be remembered. Toma turned to him. And now? I'm not sure, Aaron replied. I still want to do something. But I don't know what. Toma smiled. That's good. Not knowing is the first step to real learning. They sat there for a while, watching people pass by. Children ran with old toys. A man with a wooden cart sold steamed buns. 2 young women painted signs on a wall for a community clinic. Toma, Aaron said, how do you stay happy in a place like this? Toma laughed. Happy? I have good days and bad. But I'm at peace. What's the difference? Peace doesn't come from having everything. It comes from needing less. Those words stayed in Aaron's mind. Later that day, Toma took Aaron to a small library hidden between 2 crumbling buildings. Inside, there were old data books, printed maps, and dusty computers powered by solar panels. A young girl greeted them. Toma, she said cheerfully. And you brought someone new. This is Aaron, Toma said. He's one of us now. The girl smiled and handed them tea. Aaron looked around. People sat on floor mats reading, typing, or learning. A boy was teaching his grandmother how to use a simple tablet. A man helped a child write letters. What is this place? Aaron asked. Toma replied, this is where the future grows, not from metal and glass, but from ideas and kindness. That evening, Aaron helped fix a broken tablet. He cleaned the fan, replaced a cracked screen with spare glass, and adjusted the code. When the tablet turned on, the child who owned it smiled brightly. Aaron felt something inside him shift. It wasn't pride. It wasn't fame. It was something deeper. As the stars appeared, Aaron and Toma walked back to their bench. I think I want to stay a little longer, Aaron said. Toma nodded. Then stay, learn, help, watch the sky, but don't forget the ground. Aaron looked up at the stars, then at the people of Old City, still moving, still living. For the first time in many days, he felt useful again. And he knew this was only the beginning. The days in Old City passed slowly, but they were never empty. Aaron Vale, once a millionaire, now woke up each morning not to meetings and emails, but to the sound of street sweepers, laughing children, and boiling tea. He had started helping at the small library, fixing devices, cleaning solar panels, and teaching children basic coding on the old tablets. He no longer wore suits or expensive watches. Instead, he wore simple clothes, walked barefoot on the dusty roads, and shared meals with people who had once been strangers. But the one person he grew closest to was still Toma. Toma was not just a beggar with a kind smile. He was a man full of old thoughts, deep ideas, and strange stories that stayed with Aaron even after the day ended. One afternoon, as the two sat under a broken street lamp near a quiet alley, Aaron turned to Toma and said, you know, for someone who sleeps on benches, you sound like a man who once taught in universities. Toma chuckled. I did, long ago. Aaron raised an eyebrow. Seriously? Yes, Toma replied, sipping his warm tea. But I stopped when I realized the real lessons weren't in classrooms. They were right here in forgotten places, among quiet people. Aaron leaned back against the wall. You always talk in puzzles. Toma smiled, because puzzles make people think. That evening, as the city lights faded into the soft orange of dusk, Toma began to tell one of his many stories. There was once a man, he said, who believed machines would make life perfect. He built systems to think faster than humans, to predict danger, to remove mistakes. Like I did, Aaron said quietly. Yes, Toma replied. Like you. But this man began to see something strange. The more he built, the more people around him stopped thinking for themselves. They waited for the machine to tell them what to do, what to believe, even what to feel. Aaron nodded. I've seen that too. One day, Toma continued, there was an accident. A small one, a simple delay. But instead of fixing it, the people blamed the man. They said, you made the machine. It's your fault. He was shocked. He had given them power and now they used it against him. What did he do? Aaron asked. He left, Toma said. He walked away from it all. He went where machines couldn't find him, where people still smiled without screens, and solved problems with their hands. Aaron looked at Toma. He didn't need to ask. He knew the man in the story was Toma himself. Do you ever regret it? Aaron asked. Sometimes, Toma answered honestly. But I found something better here. I found truth. People don't wear masks here, not the kind made of metal or words. Just faces, real faces. Later that night, they sat near a small fire behind the library. A few others joined them, an old woman named Luma, who once sang in space hotels, and a young man called Nero who fixed old radios. Everyone had a past. Everyone had stories. Luma spoke about her singing days on Mars. They loved my voice, she said, but when I got old, the music stopped. They forgot me. Nero smiled gently. I didn't forget. I heard you once when I was 12. Her eyes lit up. Arin listened quietly. The stories filled the night like stars in a dark sky. Everyone here had lost something: money, jobs, homes. But they had found something too: community, kindness, respect without status. He looked around the circle. Not one person here had anything close to wealth, and yet they shared. Not just food and blankets, but time and attention. Back in his old world, people had shared numbers and favors, but rarely hearts. Now, Aaron was beginning to understand something important. Wealth wasn't what you kept. It was what you gave. The next morning, a small girl ran up to Aaron outside the library. Mr. Aaron, she said excitedly, my tablet works again. I drew you. She handed him a piece of rough paper. On it was a crayon drawing. Aaron standing beside the solar panel, smiling while children watched. He laughed. It's perfect. She grinned and ran back to her friends. Aaron showed the drawing to Toma. I've received many awards, he said. But this is the best one. Toma nodded. Because it's made from heart, not money. That day, Aaron visited the back of the library where old tech junk was stored. He found a pile of broken drones, wires, and damaged tablets. His mind began to work, not in the way it once had, chasing profit, but with a new goal. What if we made learning tools, he said, for the kids here? From this junk, Toma smiled. Now you're thinking like a builder with purpose. They began collecting parts, testing batteries, and fixing wires. Some children joined them, curious and eager. Aaron taught them how to build simple circuits and power lights. For every tool that came to life, a cheer would rise in the library. It wasn't a company. It wasn't a business. It was something better. It was hope. That night, as Aaron and Toma walked back to their bench, Aaron said, I used to think failure was the end. Toma looked at him, and now I think maybe failure was just the start of the real story. Toma smiled. Exactly. Some stories don't begin until everything else falls apart. Aaron lay down, looking up at the stars. He didn't have a tower or a title or even a home, but he had something else now, a purpose. It was a bright morning in Old City. The sun touched the rooftops with a soft golden light, and the dusty streets slowly came to life. Aaron walked through the lanes carrying an old toolbox. Children waved at him, and shopkeepers nodded as he passed. People had begun to recognize him not as a rich man, but as a helpful one. Aaron smiled. His hands were dirty, his shirt wrinkled, but his heart felt clean. Every day he worked with Toma and others to repair broken machines, help the library, and teach children new skills. It wasn't a big company, but it was something better. However, that peaceful rhythm was about to change. That afternoon, a strange noise came from the far end of the neighborhood. It was a high-pitched hum followed by a deep mechanical voice. Scanning. Scanning. Target not found. Aaron froze. The voice was familiar. He had heard it years ago inside testing labs, during product demos, and in launch events. It was the voice of a CareBot, a robot built by his old company, Vailtech. He ran toward the sound dot at the corner of Rose Street and 3rd Lane. A large robot stood in the middle of the road. Its body was scratched, its sensors blinking wildly. People had gathered around it, unsure what to do. The robot's right arm shook, and its movements were stiff and broken. "Stay back," the robot said in a confused voice. "System error, rebooting. Please stand by." Toma arrived beside Aaron, breathing slowly. "Is that what I think it is?" Aaron nodded. "It's a CareBot, one of mine." CareBots were built to help in space stations and remote towns. They delivered medicine, carried goods, and gave health advice. But this one was clearly damaged and confused. "Where did it come from?" Toma asked. "No idea," Aaron replied. "But something's wrong. It shouldn't be here, and it's not acting right." The robot's head turned sharply, its voice glitching. "Help me, system fault." Aaron stepped forward carefully. "I know how to fix this," he said. "Are you sure?" Toma asked. "I designed these bots," Aaron replied. "I built their core systems. If anyone can fix it, it's me." He moved slowly toward the robot. "Unit X9, he said, calling out the model name. "This is Aaron Vale. Access admin override." The robot paused. Its eyes blinked blue. "Recognized." "Voice match, override requested." "Accept command," Aaron said firmly. "Accepted." The robot powered down for a moment, standing still like a statue. Aaron walked around it, checking its ports and panels. A wire in the chest unit was loose. Its backup battery was cracked. The data chip near its neck was half melted, probably due to heat or an old fire. He opened his toolbox and got to work. Toma watched as Aaron carefully replaced broken parts with spares from his bag. He cleaned the dust, fixed the wire, and reset the main board. It took nearly an hour. Finally, Aaron stood back. "Okay, try now." He pressed a small button at the back of the robot's head. The robot powered on. Its eyes blinked green. System restored. "Admin, Aaron Vale. Command?" People clapped and cheered. Children smiled. Some even ran up to touch the robot. But Aaron wasn't smiling yet. "Check memory logs," he said. "Log error. Data corrupted." The robot replied. Aaron sighed. "I thought so." That's why it was confused. It didn't know who or where it was. Toma stepped forward. "Can it still be useful?" Aaron nodded. "It can learn again. Slowly, just like a person." Over the next few days, Aaron trained the CareBot again. He gave it a new name, Lumo. He taught it to carry small boxes, pass out clean water, and help elders with walking sticks. Lumo followed every command politely. It didn't remember its old programming, but it learned fast. Soon, it became a part of the neighborhood. Kids would laugh as it told simple jokes. Shopkeepers asked it to carry heavy items. Old Luma, the singer, even taught it how to play music. On a small speaker, "Lumo is helpful," she said one evening. "And polite, too," Aaron smiled. "That's the kind of bot I wanted to build from the beginning." One day, Toma and Aaron sat by the fire again. "You fixed it," Toma said. "Without any lab or funding or staff. Just hands and heart." Aaron looked at the small burn mark on his palm. "Back then, I thought machines were everything. Now, I know it's not about what they can do. It's about why we build them." Toma nodded. "And you built this one for the right reason." Aaron looked around. People were sitting peacefully. Children played near Lumo. The smell of baked bread came from a small oven down the street. "I feel like I belong here," Aaron said. "You do," Toma replied. That night, Aaron sat quietly under the stars, watching Lumo patrol the street gently. It stopped now and then to greet people, bow politely, or shine a small light into dark corners. He remembered the old Vailtech factories, where hundreds of carebots were made in silence. They were perfect in design, but they lacked something. Here, in Old City, Lumo wasn't perfect. It had scratches, and sometimes its voice glitched. But it was love. And that made all the difference. Aaron closed his eyes. For the first time, he felt that his knowledge had finally found its purpose. Not in selling, not in rising, but in healing. The sky over Old City was cloudy. A soft wind moved through the narrow streets. People were setting up food stalls, repairing shoes, and sweeping the corners of their small homes. Everything seemed normal, but for Aaron, this day was going to be different. Lumo, the fixed carebot, rolled beside Aaron as he repaired a broken solar lamp near the library. Children sat nearby, watching with interest. They liked seeing wires, lights, and little sparks. To them, Aaron wasn't just a teacher, he was a kind of magician. Just as Aaron tightened the last screw, a loud buzzing sound came from the sky. Everyone looked up. A shiny silver transport drone was descending. It was large and clean, nothing like the old machines in Old City. A blue logo shined on its side. Sierra Global News. The drone landed in the empty field across the road. A door opened, and a woman stepped out, holding a camera and microphone. She wore a dark coat, clean shoes, and had a headset in her ear. She walked toward Aaron. "You're Aaron Vale, correct?" Aaron stood slowly. "Yes, I'm Mina from CGN," she said. "We've been trying to find you for weeks." Toma appeared beside Aaron, silent and watchful. "Why?" Aaron asked. Mina smiled politely. "Because your story has reached the surface. People are talking. They say the great tech genius who disappeared is now fixing robots in Old City. That's a story everyone wants to hear." Aaron didn't answer right away. Mina continued. "The media board wants to do a full interview. And not just that. There's talk of restarting Vailtech, with you as the head again." People around them began to whisper. "Restart?" Aaron asked quietly. "Yes," Mina said. "With clean money, better controls, and full support. They believe you've learned. They believe you can lead again, only smarter this time." That night, Aaron sat alone on the bench where he had first met Toma. The city around him was quieter than usual. His thoughts were loud. He had dreamed of this once. The chance to start over. A company. A clean name. The spotlight. But now, he wasn't sure. Toma arrived and handed him a warm drink. "So," he said, "are you going back up?" Aaron took the drink and held it between his palms. "I don't know," he said. "Part of me wants to. Part of me doesn't." Toma sat down beside him. "Tell me about both parts." Aaron looked at the stars. "The part that wants to go back says I can do more from the top. Bigger labs, better tools, faster growth. I can build things that matter." "And the other part?" Toma asked. "The other part says I already am building things that matter, here, with you. With them." Toma nodded. "Sometimes the world gives you what you asked for, just to see if you still want it." Aaron smiled weakly. "You always speak in strange ways." "It's the only way I know," Toma replied. The next morning, Aaron agreed to meet with the CGN team. They sat in the back of the library with cameras and lights. Children watched from the windows. Toma stood quietly near the door. Mina asked questions. "What made you come here, Aaron? What did you learn from losing everything? What do you want now?" Aaron answered carefully, honestly. "I lost my company, but I found myself. I lost comfort, but I found purpose. I thought I needed machines to change the world. But I needed people first." Mina looked impressed. beautifully said. After the interview, she pulled Aaron aside. They really want you back. You'll have a private airship, new labs, a full research team. You can lead again, Aaron. This is your chance. Aaron was quiet. Then he said, "Give me 2 days." For the next 2 days, Aaron did what he always did. He fixed old radios, helped students with lessons, and watched Lumo carry water buckets for the elders. But his mind was spinning. One night, he visited the rooftop of the library. Toma joined him. "Still thinking?" Toma asked. Rin nodded. "If I go, I can help more people. But I'm scared I'll lose myself again." "Then don't go as the same man," Toma said. "Go as who you are now. And bring this place with you." "What do you mean?" "Don't just build machines, build bridges. Between sky and street, between data and dignity." Aaron looked at the stars. "Would you come with me?" Toma smiled. "I've already been there, Aaron. This is where I belong. But your road is not done yet." On the third morning, Aaron met Mina at the same open field. "I'll do it," he said. "But on my terms." "What are they?" she asked. "I want to create a new branch of Vailtech," he said. "Right here, in Old City. I want this place to be part of the future, not just watched from far away." Mina blinked. "Are you serious?" "Very," she smiled. "I think that can be arranged." That evening, the people of Old City gathered near the library. A small celebration had started. Children danced. Old Luma sang. Nero played music on a handmade speaker. Aaron stood in the center looking around. Toma walked up to him, holding a folded paper. "What's this?" Aaron asked. "A list of names," Toma said. "People who can help you build the new Vailtech branch here. Engineers, teachers, makers." Aaron unfolded the paper. His eyes scanned the names. "They're perfect." Toma looked at him with pride. "So are you." Aaron felt something in his chest, a soft strength, like light filling a dark room. He turned to the people and raised his voice. "We're not going back," he said. "We're going forward, together." The crowd cheered. In that moment, Aaron Vail was no longer just the man who lost everything. He was the man who had returned, not to take, but to lift. A week had passed since Aaron agreed to restart Vailtech with a new heart and a new goal. The team from Sierra Global News returned to New City, full of stories, photos, and hope. But Aaron stayed in Old City. He didn't want to leave yet. Not until the foundation of the new Vailtech branch was ready. He worked every day repairing, teaching, planning, and building. The community helped. Even children picked up tools, and elders gave ideas from years of experience. Toma, as always, stood beside him. Silent but strong. Gentle but wise. Then one morning, something strange happened. Toma was missing. Aaron waited near the usual bench. Then near the library. Then by the tea shop where Toma often talked to Luma. Nothing. He asked around. "No," said Nero. "Didn't see him today." "Maybe he went to the market," Luma offered. "But he usually tells someone." Hours passed. By evening, Aaron was worried. Toma never disappeared without a word. He was part of the rhythm of Old City, like the sun, like the smell of baking bread. That night, Aaron walked the streets with Lumo, searching the corners of the neighborhood. He checked near the old train station, the quiet alleys, even the broken clock tower where birds nested. Still nothing. The next morning, Aaron made a decision. He went to the records office near the Central Library of New City. It was a long walk, but he needed answers. Inside, he searched the citizen database. The machine was old, but it worked. He typed in the only name he knew, Toma. The screen blinked. No full match found. He paused, thinking. Then he typed something else. To Marion Vale. He had never heard that name before, but his fingers moved as if the truth already lived inside him. Match. Found. A photo appeared. It was Toma, but younger, stronger, with black hair and bright eyes. The record said, Dr. Tomarian Vale born, Earth Colony 3 profession, systems engineer, robotics scientist status, presumed deceased 22 years ago, former founder of Prototech AI Labsarin, stared at the screen. Toma ... Was a scientist? A founder? Presumed dead? He scrolled down. The file said Dr. Tomarian disappeared after a public speech where he warned the world about AI moving too fast. He had argued that machines were learning quicker than human values. No one listened. Then, one day, he vanished. People thought he had died in a space accident. But he hadn't. He had come here to Old City, and he had lived in the shadows, helping in silence, teaching not in universities, but in alleyways and broken libraries. Aaron's heart was full, not with shock but with deep respect. When Aaron returned to Old City, the sun was setting. He walked quietly to the bench where he had first met Toma, and there he was sitting calmly, as if nothing had happened. Aaron stopped. You left without saying anything. Toma looked up. Sometimes silence speaks better than words. Aaron sat beside him. He didn't speak at first. Then he said, Tomarian Vale. Toma smiled gently. You found it. Why didn't you tell me? Because you wouldn't have listened in the beginning, Toma said. You needed to see, not be told. Aaron looked down. You were famous, a real scientist. You could have gone back, built again. I didn't want fame, Toma said. I wanted truth. And I found it here. But you let everyone think you were gone. I wasn't gone, Toma said. I was just here, where I could do real work. Aaron nodded slowly. You helped me more than anyone ever did. Toma looked at him, not because I had answers, but because I gave you time to find your own. They sat together for a long time, watching the stars blink in the sky. I used to think greatness meant being known, Aaron said. Now I see, true. Greatness means being remembered by the right people. Toma smiled. Then your journey is just beginning. The next day, Aaron called a small meeting near the library. People gathered, children, workers, elders. Even Lumo stood beside him, its sensors blinking softly. In stood on a small wooden box. I want to tell you something, he said. Everyone went quiet. This place saved me, he said. When I had nothing, you gave me something more valuable than money, hope. And the man who gave me the first piece of bread, who shared the first kind word, is not just a beggar. He is a scientist, a teacher, a builder of the past. He turned toward Toma, and he is my grandfather. Gasps moved through the crowd. Aaron continued, yes, his name is Dr. Tomarian Vale, and everything I am becoming now is because of him. Toma looked down, a little shy. But the people began to clap. Slowly at first, then louder. Not because of his title, but because of who he had been to them, a helper, a listener, a guide. After the meeting, children came and hugged Toma. Elders shook his hand. Some cried softly. Toma wiped a tear from his eye and whispered to Aaron, I didn't expect this. Aaron smiled. It's what you deserve. The sun rose gently over Old City. Its golden light touched the rooftops, the broken walls, the streets filled with morning smiles. But something was different now. Hope had grown roots. People walked with more pride. Children carried books. Small robots rolled between the narrow alleys, helping with water, waste, and plants. The old library had become a small learning center, buzzing with ideas and dreams. At the center of it all was Aaron Vale. But now, he was not just an engineer or a leader. He was a bridge. Valetech's new branch had officially opened. It wasn't built of glass or steel. It was a set of rooms made from old buildings and recycled parts. But inside those rooms, magic was happening. Young minds worked on clean energy. Local builders repaired broken tech. A lab had been built using parts from abandoned machines. The logo outside was simple: Vail Tech Community Innovation Hub, powered by people, guided by purpose. Every week, Aaron connected with the upper cities through a screen. He shared ideas. He showed projects. But he always returned to one message: we don't need to escape the old world, we need to heal it. One day, a group of students arrived from New City. They were curious. Their teachers had told them about Aaron, about the rebirth of Vail Tech and the mysterious old city that had turned into a lab of kindness. The students wore clean uniforms and carried tablets. But when they entered the Innovation Hub, they saw something different from their high-tech schools. A small girl was teaching a robot how to sort vegetables. An old man was drawing circuits with chalk on the floor. Children were coding on secondhand computers, sitting on wooden benches. It wasn't fancy, but it was alive. One student asked Aaron, "Why didn't you build a better lab?" Aaron smiled. "This is a better lab. Because it's built with hands, not money. With mistakes, not just manuals." After the visit, the students wrote reports. Many of them said it was the most inspiring place they had ever seen. Some said they wanted to return not to teach, but to learn. Old City had become a teacher to the world. Meanwhile, Aaron's relationship with Toma had deepened. Though the truth about his grandfather had come out, Toma still lived simply. He spent his days walking, listening, and giving soft advice when asked. One evening, they sat together by the river. A robot nearby was helping clean the water using a solar filter the children had designed. Arin turned to Toma. "Did you ever imagine this?" Toma looked at the water. "I hoped for it. But I didn't know if I would see it." "You built so much in your life," Aaron said. "But I think your biggest invention was me." Toma laughed softly. "And I think you will build something that even time won't erase." Weeks passed. The name of the Innovation Hub began to spread. Other old cities sent messages. They wanted to learn. They wanted to copy the model. And so, Aaron and his team created the Open Tech Book, a free guide with simple instructions for anyone, anywhere, to build their own hub. No cost, no passwords, just shared knowledge. People from distant places began sending messages. "We built a solar fan using your design. Our students made a small robot from your video. We fixed our water pump using your book." Aaron smiled every time he read these. It was a new kind of wealth. Not gold, not numbers, but impact. Then came the day Aaron had to visit New City for a global technology summit. He wore a simple suit, but carried with him the soul of Old City. The grand hall was filled with bright lights, polished floors, and famous faces. Screens flashed names of top companies. Drones flew above, recording everything. When Aaron was called on stage, he stood in front of thousands. He took a deep breath and began. "Once, I thought success meant building something big. Then I lost everything, and a man gave me bread. He said something I never forgot. A hungry stomach doesn't need your money. It needs your time. That man was my grandfather. I learned that the greatest invention is not a machine. It is a connection between two hearts." The crowd went silent. Then applause filled the room. But Aaron didn't stay long. He returned to Old City that night, riding quietly in a small airship. That was his real home now. 1 year later, there were 12 community hubs built across the region. Each one followed the model started in Old City. They were all part of Project Toma, tribute to the man who taught the world how to listen again. Aaron walked through the Old City Hub, now full of students and teachers from all kinds of backgrounds. He saw a boy helping a robot read stories. Aloud. He saw a girl building a small window from recycled parts. He saw his own past and the future at the same time. That evening, Aaron found Toma sitting under the tree near the old bench. "I have something for you," Aaron said. He handed him a medal made of wood and metal. It said, "To the world's quietest inventor." Toma looked at it, then smiled. "It's beautiful, but not needed. Aaron shook his head. It's not for you. It's for all of us who learned from you. Toma looked into his eyes. Then I will keep it for the next one who needs it. As night fell, the city lights glowed gently solar-powered, student-made and full of stories. A new kind of wealth flowed through the streets. Kindness, wisdom, and hope.